As a financial counselor, I'm often asked the question, where do I start? I want to improve my finances, I want more money, I want to get out of debt, but I just don't know where to start. Understandably, it is overwhelming. If you don't know a lot about personal finances, if your money isn't where you want it to be, and if you simply don't have enough resources at your disposal to learn about money, it feels hard to get started. Me personally, I never really sought out any help with my finances until my early 30s. It was a mix of not feeling like I had enough time, and even though I felt broke at many times in my life, I always felt kind of okay. I felt like I'd be okay. I didn't know that there was more to know. I thought I knew enough. It wasn't until I nearly got laid off and had some financial trauma that I felt like I needed more of a plan. So, the fact that you are here watching this video and you are being proactive about your finances, that is a great thing. You should absolutely be proud of yourself. And it really doesn't matter what age you are. Simply prioritizing your financial life now is gonna have a positive impact across all other aspects of your life. Today, I'm gonna walk through a simple 5-step process to get a better handle of your finances. This is made for beginners, so I hope it's not overwhelming at all and it gives you some guidance of how you can get started with your finances. Hello and welcome. For those new to my channel, my name is Lissa. I'm an accredited financial counselor, a personal finance expert, and the host of Net podcast, where we talk about things like, is home buying worth it and are weddings worth it? All in an effort to help you make your own damn decisions in life. Make sure you check it out. Step 1 in this process, reflect on your why. This might sound super simple, and to some people it might sound stupid or a waste of time. Like, what does it have to do with my finances? But it really is not just some woo-woo exercise. I truly believe that you will have a better shot at long-term success with money, with wealth, and with happiness if you start by simply defining your values and knowing what your goals are. You want to build some self-awareness into the process. Reflecting on your why is going to help you on your entire journey towards improving your finances, reaching financial security, maybe reaching financial freedom, because you are going to learn to make smarter decisions along the way that are aligned to your values. So, to reflect on your why and to overall start building this self-awareness around your money, here are some money-specific questions that you can reflect on. Now, you can either think these through in your head, talk to yourself out loud, talk to a friend about them, but I would suggest journaling. Here are the topics. Why do you want to improve your finances? What would having enough money look like for you? What are your goals in life that require money? And why are they important to you? What roadblocks have you faced in your life in regards to money? Reflecting on these types of questions is going to give you a good foundation and a source of motivation for the following steps. Step 2, find resources that speak to you. If I had to start all over again with learning personal finances, learning about money, and getting my financial life together, I would seek out better resources, ones that speak to me a lot better. This means I wouldn't just find any old podcast or finance book or YouTube channel, but I would make sure that the creator or the author understood my circumstances as a woman, as a daughter of immigrants, as a person of color. It really hits different when you are learning from someone who understands your cultural, familial, and societal nuances. I don't think there's anything wrong with a mix so that you get different perspectives, but it does help, especially when you're starting as a beginner, to hear from people who understand you a lot better. When I first started learning about personal finance about 7 or 8 years ago, every single book that I read, almost every single book, was written by a white person or a man, or put those together, a white man. Now, I'm not saying that these books weren't helpful. I definitely learned some things. I learned more than I did growing up and in school. But the books that I read, they didn't acknowledge certain privileges in the way that I would have liked. And not to mention, some of these personal finance educational resources, they didn't feel like they had a welcoming, warm tone, which is how I prefer to be spoken to. I watched Dave Ramsey, I read Robert Kiyosaki's books, etc. And a lot of these resources basically said, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, stop complaining, and you can be rich if you just work hard and do this, this, and this. And like, cool, like that makes sense to me, right? There are actual logistical steps you can do for your finances. But low-key, all I've ever done in my life was work hard. That is what my immigrant parents taught me to do. But why is it then that in my career, in my life, I've still been overlooked at work, I've been underpaid, I've felt unheard? Anyway, that is besides the point, that is a tangent. All I'm trying to say here is find resources that speak to you. Lucky for you, my 38th birthday was just last month, and to celebrate it, I made a YouTube video that has 38 personal finance resources for women of color. Now, even if you are not a woman of color watching my video right now, you might find something in that list, so definitely check out that video. It's always nice to have a lot of different perspectives. My 2 cents, pick 1 or 2 resources to start. Don't pick so many that you get overwhelmed. But make it a point to learn personal finance from multiple voices, multiple people, to get those multiple diverse perspectives. Which reminds me, if you are enjoying this video so far, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I post videos on all things about money, wealth, and abundance. All right, step 3, do an inventory on your finances, aka a net worth check. To start getting your financial life together, you want to have a bird's eye view of your finances. So there are a lot of components to our personal finances, but for starters, in this step, you are going to look at your net worth. Sometimes this is referred to as your balance sheet or your financial picture, your financial situation. In short, you just want to have an idea of everything you own and everything you owe. These are also known as assets, which are what you own, and liabilities, or what you owe. Knowing these will help give you an idea of how much financial power you have. On top of that, when you gather all of the information about your liabilities, what you owe, aka your debts, that is going to be one of the first steps in creating a debt payoff plan, which is something you're going to do later on. In terms of calculating your net worth, if you want more guidance on that, I do have a video that helps you do an entire financial checkup. And with it, I have a free spreadsheet template to calculate your net worth. I'll drop that in the description. If you just want to use a piece of paper, that's fine too. It's as simple as making 2 separate lists. The first list, everything you own, so your cash, your investments, equity in your home, anything else that you own that has monetary value. The next list is what you owe. Outstanding loans, that includes student loans, medical loans, personal loans, the balances on your credit cards, unpaid taxes, any money that you owe another person or company or entity. You take your assets and then you subtract your liabilities, and that gives you your current net worth. All right, step number 4 in this process, for those of you new to personal finances, you want to review your cash flow. This step is probably the most time-consuming of all of the steps, but it's probably the one that's going to give you the most impactful information at this stage of your financial journey, because it is looking at your day-to-day finances. Technically, just like the last step, this is doing more inventory on your finances. If you checked out that video I mentioned earlier on how to do a financial checkup, reviewing your cash flow is part of that checkup. But don't worry, I also have a free spreadsheet template for reviewing your cash flow. I will drop that in the description. So when you review or audit your cash flow, what you are doing is you are understanding how does money flow into your life and out of your life. And in doing this exercise, instead of trying to guess what's going to come this month or next month or however long into the future, what you're going to use is actual data. You are going to look at previous months. What did you actually make in previous months? What did you actually spend? Now, understandably, this is going to change from month to month. No one really has a perfect financial situation where every month is exactly the same. But by looking at previous months, you are giving yourself a leg up because this has some truth to it, some reality to it. So for beginners, I recommend looking at the past 30 days, or for example, if this month is July, just look back at all of June. But if you really want to get detailed, you can do 3 months worth of income and expenses. So once you list out all of these things and you do some calculations, add everything up, you're gonna have a number that is how much money has come in this period of time, whether that's 1 month or a couple months. And then you're gonna look at how much money went out in that same amount of time. You're gonna do money in minus money out, and that number is gonna tell you a lot about your financial situation. It's going to tell you how much breathing room you have in your budget, in your monthly day-to-day cash flow. So even though this step does take some time and it might require a lot of work, it might require a lot of getting over that obstacle of looking at your finances. A lot of people like to avoid looking at their finances. It's really a tool. It's gonna help give you information that is gonna allow you to move forward. It's gonna tell you how much can you realistically save or pay towards debt, or how much can you realistically improve your lifestyle, spend more on the things you wanna spend on. All right, moving on. Step number 5, the last one on this list, if you're a beginner to personal finance, my step number 5 for you is incorporate small habits and automate when possible. So I recommend implementing small habits, taking small steps, and just starting. You really can't wait weeks or months or years to start doing better on your finances. A lot of times people put it off because they're just like, I just gotta get through this month and then I'll sit down and look at it all. Like ultimately your finances impact pretty much every other aspect in your life. So as best you can, you kind of just gotta dive in. And it does help to start small. For example, let's say you know that you tend to overspend through online shopping. Maybe you can implement a small rule on yourself like the 72-hour rule. What this means is if you like doing online shopping and you always put things in your cart, wait 72 hours before you make that purchase, before you hit buy, because that 72 hours is some buffer time. It gives you time to really think about, do I need that thing? Do I want that thing? What value does that thing bring to my life? And if you still want it in 72 hours, cool. But at the very least, it might help you curb some of that overspending or unplanned impromptu spending that you didn't set aside budget for. Another example of how you can start small is if you feel like your financial documents are always cluttered, start small by opting into paperless notices or picking a place in your house like a filing cabinet to put all of your documents into. You can set time aside to go through those papers later, but if you need just a small step and a small win to start with now, then pick a folder, pick a cabinet, and start putting your financial documents in that place. Now the second part of this step, I mentioned automation. The reason you want some automation in your finances and your money management system is because the more efficient this system is, the more likely you are to stick to these things. So I do have a separate video up here with some automation tips that you can check out, but I'll give you one example, and that is paying yourself first. So this is a method in which anytime money comes your way, a paycheck or someone pays you back or you get a tax refund, you are going to set aside money towards saving and investing before you pay anyone else. Before you pay your rent, before you pay bills, you are going to put aside a small amount towards saving and investing. The easiest way to automate this is by setting up a direct deposit through your job or whoever pays you, or setting up an automatic transfer through your bank account. In this particular method, the smaller the amount you start with, the easier it becomes to make it a habit, because pretty soon you're not even gonna notice that money is gone and you're gonna be saving automatically. All right, there you have it. I know there was a lot of extra links and spreadsheets and things I told you to go check out, but I did want to make this video to have a summary view, a 5-step process that you can refer to if you want to improve your finances, especially if you are new and just trying to figure out your money for the first time. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and until next time, peace out.